Yeah, so let's have a look. I actually wants to step to 370. I'm curious to see that actually because I've never really, not sure if I have the step automatically set. UKG options, simulation. Auto time compression. Auto step climbs, no. Ah, okay, cool. Alright, so if we stay, I wants to step to fly over 370 in 11 miles, and we can see we've got the S/C there, step climb, showing on the navigation display. And if we go step 0, so if we stay at 350, it's a little bit less fuel, and time wise, hold on, let me go back to R. So 37 and 8 tons, and if we stay at 3.5, $36 and 7.9. So I'll privilege the I'll prioritize the time. I will stay at 350. No, raw data we don't really do. We're supposed to use the maximum of the automation, so we can hand fly, like, you know, the departure and the arrival. Personally, I like to hand fly the departure. You know, it's quite cool. The arrival I would rather not, because sometimes it gets very busy, and then it adds a lot of workload on the colleagues. So I would rather not. But usually the departure is not too busy, so you can do that. Depends obviously where you're going. And raw data, we don't really play raw data really. The flight director has to, in particular, the flight director has to stay on unless it's US, it's not working. But otherwise, if it is working, you're supposed to have it on. So that's company policy. So you wouldn't really play around. Yeah, raw data will be more like a training thing, as you said, especially in the simulator. The best exercise for raw data is to fly the ILS raw data. It's a good exercise for, you know, the instrument scan and getting to know, you know, your power and attitude settings and all that stuff. It's quite a good exercise. I've got a video on the Sail Highway. Good day. Yeah, Turkish is alright. Oh yeah, of course you can hand fly all the way to 360. That's not a problem in itself. Yeah, some 777 tips. It's a lovely aircraft to fly. It's quite cool, and the simulation a bit similar to the 737 NGX is fairly good as well. Just noticing down here, usually you've got the aircraft registration like this, but you also have the plate for the cell call code. For the simulation here, it's not there, I guess. First, they might not know the cell call code of the aircraft, and secondly, it's not simulated, so I guess there's no point. What's funny is that in all the different airline configurations for the 777 in PMDG there, they've all done what I call the lunch box here. So instead of having the Boeing EFB or whatever, there's supposed to be some sort of computer on there. It's what I call the lunch box. So basically, you flip that. How can I call that? I'm losing my Latin. Anyway, you flip this over, you open it, and then you've got quite a big, deep space there. Obviously, there's supposed to be a big screen coming into that space there. It's funny they decided on the no EFB configuration. Okay, I didn't know it was that. Thank you very much, Alpha Bravo Juliet Papa. I'll take a note and I'll put it into the PFPX and into the flight plans next time. If you fly, I think if you set the cell call code on your flight plan online, then they can also rate you by cell call as well, which is cool. What do you do if you have total autopilot failure and the weather is Cat 3? Yeah, flight sim Andy, you're absolutely correct. You would divert. You can't do a Cat 3 approach in virtually no visibility. If you don't have the autopilot, because when we do the landings in low visibility, actually it's the autopilot who lands the aircraft. You do what's called an auto land. So if you don't have the autopilot, then you'll have to go elsewhere, unless you're on fire or something, and you need to immediately come back or something like that. But if there's no rush, then I wouldn't. Well, it's not that I wouldn't try. I mean, I wouldn't do it. It's as simple as that. However, for example, as I said, if you you take off in low visibility from somewhere, and then for some reason you're on fire or something, and you want to come back immediately, and then you realize the autopilot is not working, then yeah, I will try to kind of fly the instruments and land it manually in no visibility, but that's obviously the really worst case scenario. But as I said, otherwise normal conditions, you just divert. However, if all the airports around and within range are also all fogged in, then you're gonna have to do something, because if you don't have the fuel to reach suitable alternates, then you're gonna have to put the aircraft down at some point. So, but this is also a quite remote possibility and scenario as well. It would be a really bad day. But for example, above all on this aircraft, you can land in 75 meters visibility. That's that's your visibility for Cat 3 Bravo, which is all the auto land with all the redundancy and all the capability, you know, the big thing. And as I said, obviously you need to have all the redundancy in the systems, and but if like one of the components for the redundancy fails while you're doing a low visibility approach, you can still kind of what we call like downgrade the autopilot functions, and depending on the actual visibility on the approach, you can still kind of, you know, try to continue the approach and maybe fly to a Cat 3 Alpha, or even to Cat 1 minima, and see if you can see the runway. If you can't see the runway, then obviously you have to go around, but if maybe Cat 3 Alpha you can do it, then you know you would do it. Zento 92, that's actually interesting. I didn't know on ships that, you know, how it works. It's actually quite interesting to find out. No, the autopilot usually does everything. Like at the moment in the cruise, you know, well, at the moment we're in a straight line. There's not gonna be any turns before the next. Oof, it's actually a long straight line. It looks almost a straight line until we get there, but the autopilot does everything. You program the route into the computer here, and then program the autopilot to follow what's programmed by the computer, and the autopilot follows the route from the computer without any input from the pilot. The only input really we have is to match in this case here the track bug with the current track of the aircraft, and then if we want to change altitude, then dial the altitude we want up here. But otherwise, as things are now, you know, even if the route was like going, you know, left right, the autopilot would follow the route as is programmed in the computer. Yeah, it's true, FlySim. You always have to, maybe not the backup plan of the original backup plan, but at least always have a backup plan even when things look normal and everything goes well. It's always good to have a bit of a backup plan in the back of your mind, so to speak, just in case, you know, things go a little bit unexpected at the last minute. Things can be fairly dynamic, you know, things can change very quickly, and from you know, everything going well and everything being, you know, going smoothly, things can go pear-shaped fairly quickly in this job, and so it's yeah, it's always good to have a backup plan at least. You know, have plan A and then plan B and possibly also plan C, but at least have a plan B. Hold on, we'll pass that point. Go 35, 39. So what we usually do, which I didn't do today because, well, simply I forgot and we were like chatting away, and I mean it's not that vital anyway. And, is to adapt the fly levels which are given to us here to the levels we are going to fly. In this direction we are going towards the southeast. We're not gonna fly 280, it's an even fly level number, so we're never gonna fly that, so we can delete that. And 390 will never really, well, we could keep it, but yeah, I'll actually keep it. And 310 is a little bit low as well, so we can delete it as well. And then the more likely levels we are to use would be 330, for example. So we'll set it up here, and actually then comes back down here because it's in increasing order. And then if we want to know the wind at 370 as well, we can go 370, and they would slot it in here in its correct location. Then execute that, and then go back to our route data. Yeah, and then wind data request. So that would obviously happen via data link as well. You would that contacts the company server or whatever. The request now is sent, and then the wind data uplink is now ready again. So we'll go load. So we'll load the uplink, and then you can see this becomes all grayed out. The Route 1 data page is modified here. We've got also the message for the descent forecast uplink being ready, so we can clear the message there. And then what we can do is go to the waypoint information, and here we can see we've got the winds for the new winds now for 370, and the new winds for flight level 330, which is fairly cool. So we can execute that, and now we've got those winds for the rest of the route. There's still 27 waypoints there with all the wind information, which is cool. And then for the descent forecast, we'll go back to forecast and load the information we have. I'm not sure it's gonna change, depends how often the oh, did it change? Maybe you can't really change the levels too much here. You kind of need to keep the levels as they are. But, yeah, transition level for Istanbul, I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me check the charts. Istanbul, I think it's 5,000 feet maybe, but I'm not sure. Oh no, 10,000, so transition level 110. That's fairly high. Cool. Beautiful. Oh, we've got traffic. Just within 20 miles. Like I said earlier on, I don't think we're gonna see him. He needs to be within 10 miles to see the label. And during the day like this, we don't really see the lights too well. It needs to be at least kind of dusk or dawn, or even better at night, but otherwise during the day we don't really see the lights very well. Yep, okay. Cool, thank you very much for the follow. I'm Amundos. Welcome on board, welcome to the stream. The one thing I would like to get from PFPX is the ability to have, like, you know, the big kind of en route weather chart, and also a chart with the actual flight route, because all they give you as like kind of weather charts is those charts with the winds at higher levels, but you don't have, you know, these significant weather charts with the jet streams and the areas of, like, you know, thunderstorms and the areas of turbulence and stuff. And yeah, I don't know why it's not there. The new 350. Yeah, the 350 is. I'm not too familiar with it, but it does look good. It does look really, really good. It's a little bit like the 787. A colleague was telling me about the 350, and it can do amazing things. It can even fly, you know, during a depressurization. It can, if I remember correctly, it can fly it can fly almost by itself, and if there is like, you know, any mountains or something, you can calculate how to navigate to avoid the mountains and all that stuff. It's breathtaking, you know. It's amazing what I can do. Really advanced technologically speaking. Yeah, all these new aircraft are really good on the 787. You know, with the HUD, and you know they can do a lot of things, and it's all integrated with the technology. I mean, on the 787, like from what I can gather, when you're on the ground, here on the 777, for example, you always have this screen. But on the 787, once you are on the ground, you still have this screen, but there's also like the airport layout, which kind of fusions with, you know, it's kind of put together with this screen there. So when you're on the ground, you see where you're going, and everything is integrated within the one screen there. Whereas on the 777, for example, when you're on the ground at like any airport, the display here remains the same. You know, you don't have a clue, or you know, there's no map of the airport. But here on the 787, everything is integrated. So once you're on the ground, you've got the airport layout, and you can taxi and have, you know, all the airport layout on this. It's fantastic. I think one of the I can't remember who it is. One of those simulation companies is working on the 787 at the moment. So I'm quite curious to see what they're gonna come up with. I would certainly be nice to try that one. Oh yeah, Quality Wings, that's the one, yeah. So apparently they've been working on it for a while. I was reading somewhere, I don't know if there was an email or it was on Facebook or somewhere. There was a recent update, and they're saying they're now finalizing the product, but you know, applying the final touches actually is a lot of work, because they realize there's a lot of like small details they need to correct here and there. But yeah, it does certainly look very good. That's Sofia down here, yeah. Yeah, Sofia. So we're not very far now, Sofia. Once you pass Sofia, then we're almost there. Great. Cool. I think we're definitely gonna go on runway at 23, which is actually fairly short, but it's the runway they usually use. And it's gonna be the NSU 1 Charlie. Cool, so we're basically going on some sort of right hand downwind, 423, which is cool. So guys, I'm programming the EFB. EFB is great because you can program the route coming in on the taxiways. Taxi via Sierra, then Kilo, Foxtrot. That's cool. Alright, I wish I could show that as well on the stream, but because I work with only one monitor. Oh, it's not taking it. Anyway. Hey Winsong, hi, how you doing? Yeah, I think it's in, as you said, it's in beta. It's they're finalizing all the last bits and pieces. Yeah, this was Sofia. See. Don't see much of a city down there. Or maybe here. Yeah. I don't particularly know Sofia. Cool. Yeah, that would be good, because that's something I would be interested in. That would be really, really nice. I think I mentioned early on, but recently I got a book. Yeah, it's quite interesting, you know. Even for somebody like me, I thought it was quite interesting to read about the 787. Top of descent at 11:10. Oh, 20 minutes. Okay. Cool. having a little bit of turbulence. Amazing. You can see the aircraft going up and down. The engines are adding a little bit of thrust. Whoa! No, after this, that will be me for today. I'll stop the stream after Istanbul. I'm not continuing anywhere else. Oh yeah, it's. Check the aircraft is bouncing up and down. I'm not moving the screen; it's moving itself. Wow. Yeah, we can see the on the altimeter on the VSI there, it's moving up and down a little bit. Cool. No worries, Windsilk. Yeah, maybe another time. What private jet do you have? Cessna citation is quite cool. Embraer Phenom 3300. Nice. Cool.